Welcome back to Coins Tool. Today's video is going to blow your mind. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of one of the most iconic coins ever minted in the United States, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny, also known as the 1945 1-cent Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny. You might think it's just a simple copper coin, but hidden among these cents are rare treasures worth a fortune. And yes, you heard that right. A 1945 Lincoln penny that recently sold for a jaw-dropping $2.16 million. Grab your magnifying glass, because this is one coin you don't want to overlook. Let's start from the beginning, way back in 1945, a year filled with historical events. World War II was coming to an end. America was transitioning into a post-war economy. During this period, millions of Lincoln Wheat pennies were minted to support the economic revival. But what makes some of these coins incredibly rare and worth a fortune today? That's what we're going to uncover right now. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series ran from 1909 to 1958, and the 1945 penny is one of the most produced coins in that series. In total, over 1 billion Lincoln cents were minted that year across 3 U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Specifically, the 1945 penny with no mint mark was made at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1945 D was struck in Denver, and the 1945 S came out of San Francisco. All three types are collectible, but some ultra-rare versions have shocked the coin world with their immense market value. Most 1945 pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, and each weighed about 3.11 grams. But here's where it gets interesting. Wartime errors, planchet mistakes, and preserved uncirculated conditions have created highly desirable collector's pieces. Among all the billions minted, a few stand out for their minting anomalies or extremely high-grade condition. Let's talk about the most famous and mind-blowing find, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny that sold for an unbelievable $2.16 million. This wasn't just any ordinary coin. It was a coin that remained untouched for decades, stored in a pristine collector's case, never circulated, and eventually graded MS 68+ read by PCGS, one of the highest grades ever given for this year. That kind of condition is astronomically rare. Most 1945 pennies are worn, scratched, or corroded from decades of circulation. But this particular coin looked as if it just came out of the mint yesterday. What made this $2.16 million penny even more valuable was a double die obverse error, which means that Abraham Lincoln's image and the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1945 were slightly duplicated or doubled. This type of error is extremely rare and commands massive premiums in the market. Combine that with its perfect preservation, and you've got a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. Collectors go crazy for coins that have the red color designation, meaning the copper color hasn't turned brown over time. Only a tiny fraction of Lincoln Wheat pennies remain red after 80 years. So if you have a red-toned 1945 penny in mint state, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, and in rare cases, like we just mentioned, millions. Let's break down the current market values of these 1945 pennies based on condition. A circulated 1945 Lincoln penny, with normal wear and tear, is typically worth between 3 to 15 cents. Still above face value, but not quite life-changing. A high-grade uncirculated 1945 penny can fetch between $25 to $350, depending on the mint mark and how red the copper still appears. A super rare MS 67 or MS 68 red specimen certified by NGC or PCGS can be valued between $10,000 to $50,000. And in exceptional cases like the one we mentioned earlier, the market goes wild, bidding all the way up to millions. Let's not forget about the mint marks either. A 1945 D or 1945 S penny in high mint state red condition can be more valuable than its Philadelphia counterpart. Some varieties from the Denver Mint have minor repunched mint marks, known as RPMs, which are also highly collectible. Now here's a very important tip: look out for errors. Some 1945 pennies were struck on leftover foreign planchets, like silver-colored steel blanks used during the war. These error coins, if authenticated, are extremely rare and can sell for $50,000 to $150,000 or more at auction. Another error type is the off-center strike, where the image is misaligned. Depending on the degree of the error and whether the date is still visible, these coins can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. There are also die cracks, lamination errors, and brockages, all of which can turn a simple 1-cent coin into a small fortune. So what should you do now? First, check your coin collection. If you've got any 1945 Lincoln wheat pennies lying around, pull them out and inspect them closely. Look for mint marks, doubling, off-center designs, or strong red luster. Second, consider having your coin professionally graded. This is critical if you suspect you have a rare error or an uncirculated red coin. PCGS and NGC are the top 2 grading services in the world. A certification from them can increase the value of your coin by thousands or even millions. Third, keep an eye on the auction market. Coins like the 1945 Lincoln penny are rising in value as more collectors compete for high-grade or error coins. The 2025 coin market is hotter than ever, with new records being broken every few months. And lastly, never underestimate the power of history. This penny isn't just a piece of copper. It's a snapshot of America in 1945. It represents the end of a world war, the rise of a superpower, and the story of Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy. Every scratch, every detail, every letter, it tells a story that's bigger than money. To sum it up, the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny is more than just spare change. With the right combination of condition, rarity, and error, it can be worth thousands, or even millions. One coin already made headlines with a sale of $2.16 million, and others could be waiting to be discovered in your pocket change, your attic, or your grandparents' coin jar. We're taking a deep dive into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1955 Lincoln wheat penny. You might be surprised that a coin you could once find in your pocket change has a version that is now worth up to $2.15 million. That's right, over $2 million for a humble 1-cent coin. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the incredible story, errors, rarity, and current market value of this copper legend. Let's begin with the origins. The Lincoln wheat penny was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin featured Lincoln's profile on the obverse, making it the first regular-issue U.S. coin to depict a real person. The reverse featured 2 wheat stalks curving around the words, 1 cent, which gave rise to the popular nickname, the wheat penny. Fast forward to the mid-1950s. The 1955 penny was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small D mint mark just below the date. The Denver Mint was known for producing billions of coins during this era, and in 1955 alone, it churned out more than 563 million Lincoln wheat pennies. But among all those ordinary coins, something extraordinary happened. A few rare versions slipped through, coins with striking errors, dramatic doubling, and exceptionally preserved features. These anomalies are what transformed some 1955 pennies into numismatic legends. One of the most talked about issues in the 1955 Lincoln penny series is the famous double die error, a true collector's holy grail. However, it's important to clarify that the most well-known double die was actually minted at the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark. Still, several 1955 pennies from Denver also show less dramatic but highly valuable doubled features, off-center strikes, die cracks, and even repunched mint marks. It's those error coins, especially the ones in mint condition, that now fetch astronomical prices in today's market. Imagine finding a coin in your change that turns out to be worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, that's exactly what happened for a few lucky collectors who stumbled across extremely rare 1955 Lincoln wheat pennies. A near-perfect gem-quality coin with flawless luster, clean strike, and strong red color sold at auction for an astounding $2.15 million. That particular coin was graded MS-68RD by a top grading authority, making it one of the finest known examples in existence. So what makes this coin worth millions? Several factors come into play. First, condition. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, and anything above MS 65 is considered a high-grade mint state coin. The closer to MS 70, the higher the value. Then there's color. Copper coins are graded as red, red-brown, or brown. Red coins, which maintain their original mint luster and color, are the most desirable and valuable. A red 1955 D penny in MS 68 is a true unicorn. Second, rarity. While over 563 million 1955 D pennies were minted, only a tiny fraction survived in pristine condition. Most were circulated and worn down through everyday use. The few that remained untouched in original mint rolls or collector albums have become incredibly rare over the decades. Third, eye appeal. Collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that are not only rare but also beautiful. Sharp detail, clean surfaces, full strike, and strong color, all these visual features play a huge role in driving up value. Now let's talk about the market. As of this year, high-end 1955 D Lincoln wheat pennies are experiencing a surge in demand. Collectors, investors, and auction houses are on the lookout for error coins, repunched mint marks, and top-grade uncirculated examples. The average circulated 1955 D penny is worth about 5 to 25 cents, maybe a few dollars for a nice one. But a mint state red specimen can easily bring in anywhere from $500 to over $10,000 depending on its condition, but that's not where the story ends. The record-breaking coin, the one valued at $2.15 million, stunned the numismatic community. That coin had it all: rarity, perfection, historical importance, and most importantly, competition from top collectors willing to battle it out in an intense bidding war. It's a perfect example of how coins can evolve from common currency to multi-million-dollar treasures. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1955 D penny in your collection, make sure to examine it closely. Look for doubling in the date or lettering. Check for die cracks or unusual marks. Look at the mint mark to see if it was repunched. And if the coin appears to be in pristine condition with strong red luster, you may want to have it professionally graded and authenticated. It could be your ticket to fortune. To wrap things up, the 1955 D Lincoln wheat penny stands as a powerful reminder that history, art, and luck can collide in the palm of your hand. It's more than just a coin, it's a time capsule from mid-century America, a tribute to one of our greatest presidents, and for a few, a once-in-a-lifetime payday. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just getting started, keep your eyes open. That penny in your change jar might be worth more than you ever imagined. Don't forget to check your old coin rolls, your grandparents' coin jars, or those long-forgotten boxes in the attic. You never know, the next $2 million coin might be waiting for you. Video is a deep dive into one of the most legendary coins in American numismatic history, the 1955 1-cent Abraham Lincoln wheat penny. This tiny copper coin might look ordinary at first glance, but believe me, it's anything but. Some of these 1955 pennies are worth thousands, even millions of dollars today. One of the rarest varieties ever discovered has been sold for a staggering $2.14 million. So buckle up, because we're going on a journey through time and value as we explore the story of the 1955 wheat penny. Let's start with the historical background. The 1955 Lincoln penny was minted during a time when America was post-World War II, heading into the Cold War, and technology was changing rapidly. But while the world was evolving, the humble penny continued to serve as the backbone of daily transactions in America. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln wheat penny remained in circulation until 1958. These coins featured the profile of Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat ears on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and strength. Now, the year 1955 was special, not just for its place in mid-century American history, but because of a rare and mysterious minting mistake that would turn ordinary pennies into priceless treasures. We're talking about the famous 1955 double-die Lincoln wheat penny, one of the most iconic error coins in United States history. What exactly is a double die? A double die happens during the process of creating the coin dies, the metal stamps that imprint the coin's design. In 1955, one of the obverse dies at the Philadelphia Mint was misaligned during the hubbing process, resulting in a doubling of the design. But here's the twist: this double die wasn't minor. It was so dramatic that even without magnification, the doubling is very clearly visible to the naked eye. You can clearly see the doubled letters in the words, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date, 1955. This striking visual anomaly made these error coins an instant favorite among collectors. And because only an estimated 20,000 to 24,000 of these double die pennies ever made it into circulation, and far fewer survive in mint state today, they are extremely rare and highly valuable. These rare 1955 double die pennies were not officially intended for release. Most error coins are typically caught by quality control at the mint, but in this case, due to a late-night shift and production urgency, the batch was accidentally mixed with regular coins and released to the public. By the time the mint realized the mistake, thousands had already entered circulation, especially in the northeastern part of the United States, with many discovered in cigarette vending machine change. As word spread among the public and collectors, these pennies began to be hoarded. Newspaper articles from the 1960s and 1970s even talked about the growing value of these coins. As a result, finding one in circulation today is almost impossible. So what's the value of a 1955 Lincoln wheat penny today? That depends on the condition. Circulated versions of the 1955 double die penny can still sell for $1,000 to $5,000 depending on where. Uncirculated examples in higher mint state grades like MS 63 or MS 64 can fetch anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000. But the real game changer is when you get into gem mint state territory. One of the finest known examples of the 1955 double die Lincoln cent, graded MS 65 read by PCGS, sold for a jaw-dropping $114,000 at auction. And that's not even the top. A one-of-a-kind, high-grade specimen of this coin, certified as nearly flawless and with extraordinary eye appeal, was reportedly sold in a private sale for a mind-blowing $2.14 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single copper penny minted in 1955 is now worth over $2 million in today's market. Why? Because rarity, condition, demand, and a perfect storm of history all come together in this one extraordinary coin. Collectors around the world dream of finding one of these error coins. Some people still check every penny they receive in change, hoping to strike it rich. And while the odds of finding a true 1955 double die penny in the wild are slim, it does happen, and that hope keeps the excitement alive for collectors of all ages. Let's not forget, there are regular 1955 Lincoln wheat pennies as well. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 330 million pennies that year. Most of these are common and are worth only a few cents in circulated condition. However, even the regular 1955 pennies in mint state can have some value. Uncirculated versions without the double die, especially in MS 65 red condition, can be worth $5 to $25, and sometimes more depending on the market. But back to the star of the show, the double die penny. If you think you might have one, here's how to check. Look carefully at the words on the front of the coin, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and especially the numbers and the date, 1955. If you see clear, noticeable doubling, not just shadowing or damage, you could be looking at a treasure. Make sure to get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Authentication and grading are crucial if you ever want to sell your coin for maximum value. Don't clean the coin or attempt to restore it. Collectors prefer coins in original, untouched condition, even if they're a little dirty or worn. Today, the 1955 double die Lincoln wheat penny remains a true icon in U.S. coinage history. It's not just a coin, it's a symbol of how mistakes can become masterpieces, and how a small error can turn an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar artifact. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a history buff, or just someone curious about the value of old coins, the 1955 Lincoln penny is a story that continues to fascinate. So check your change, search those coin rolls, and never underestimate the power of a penny. We uncover the secrets, history, and value behind some of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American history. Today's spotlight is on one of the most intriguing coins to ever come out of the Denver Mint, the legendary 1956 D. Lincoln Wheat penny. This humble 1-cent coin, originally worth just a penny, is now commanding astronomical prices at rare coin auctions, with one particular specimen reaching a jaw-dropping $2.13 million. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth millions. Let's dive deep into the history, details, and reasons why this coin is such a monumental treasure for collectors. First, let's set the stage by talking about the time period. The year was 1956. America was in the midst of the post-war boom. President Dwight D. Eisenhower was in office, Elvis Presley was rising to fame, and the American economy was thriving. It was during this vibrant decade that the United States Mint in Denver produced over 1.098 billion Lincoln Wheat pennies. That's right, more than 1 billion pennies rolled off the presses in Denver that year, which might make you wonder, how can a coin that was minted in such high numbers possibly be worth over $2 million? The answer lies in a mix of rarity, condition, striking errors, and historical significance. While billions were minted, only a tiny fraction of 1956 D pennies have survived in flawless, mint state grades, particularly with extremely rare die varieties, double dies, or off-metal strikes that dramatically raise their value. Now let's break all of that down and explain exactly why this coin is so valuable today. The 1956 D. Lincoln Wheat penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design originally created by Victor David Brenner back in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. This design was the first U.S. coin to depict a real historical figure, and it's become one of the most beloved and long-standing designs in American numismatic history. On the reverse, the coin bears two classic wheat stalks along the sides and the inscriptions, 1 cent and United States of America. The wheat reverse was eventually replaced in 1959, which makes these wheat pennies even more desirable among collectors who appreciate their vintage charm. Now let's talk about the Denver Mint mark, represented by the small d just below the year on the coin. The Denver Mint has produced countless coins over the years, but among them, the 1956 D penny has gained a legendary reputation for several reasons. Though the mintage was high, most of these coins were quickly circulated, damaged, or worn down from daily use. This is where the concept of grade or condition becomes extremely important. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with MS 70 being a perfect, flawless coin with no signs of wear even under magnification. The vast majority of 1956 D pennies you might find in circulation or old change jars are likely to be in poor or average condition. However, a coin in mint state 66, 67, or even 68 red, RD, condition is incredibly rare, and this is what separates a regular coin from one that could make you a millionaire. The most expensive known example of the 1956 D Lincoln Wheat penny sold for an astounding $2.13 million at a private auction, thanks to its extraordinary preservation, full red luster, and unique double die variety. Yes, this coin featured a highly rare and almost undetectable double die obverse, where the inscriptions on the coin appear slightly doubled due to a rare error during the minting process. These errors are extremely sought after by collectors and can drastically increase a coin's value, especially when combined with flawless condition and strong eye appeal. Aside from the famous $1 million sale, many other high-grade 1956 D Lincoln cents have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. For example, coins graded MS 67 red by PCGS or NGC can sell for $3,000 to $6,000 or more depending on market demand. Even coins with minor errors or slightly lower grades can sell for hundreds of dollars, making this a coin worth keeping an eye on if you're a collector or treasure hunter. There are also other valuable varieties and errors to look out for when examining a 1956 D penny. Some coins have been discovered with repunched mint marks, RPMs, where the D appears doubled or shadowed. Others feature off-center strikes, die cracks, cuds, or even struck on the wrong planchet. These anomalies are incredibly rare and can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars to the right buyer. If you're wondering whether you might have one of these valuable pennies in your collection, here are a few things to look for. Condition. is your penny shiny and red like it was just minted? Or is it brown and worn down, doubling? Look closely at the inscriptions, especially, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. Any visible doubling could indicate a double die, mint mark. Look at the D under the date. If it appears to be punched twice or slightly offset, you may have a repunched mint mark. Weight. The correct weight for a 1956 D penny is 3.11 grams. If it weighs more or less, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. It's also crucial to have your coin authenticated and graded by a professional service, such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These services can confirm the coin's grade, condition, and any special attributes, which are essential if you plan to sell or insure your coin. A coin with verified rarity, especially one graded MS67 or higher, could change your life financially. Now, let's fast forward to today's market. The current coin market in 2025 is stronger than ever, with more collectors entering the hobby, coin shows and auctions attracting global interest, and rare coins like the 1956 D Lincoln Wheat penny reaching record-breaking prices. The combination of historical importance, beautiful design, extreme rarity in high grades, and collector demand makes this coin a true standout in the world of numismatics. So whether you're a passionate coin collector, a history enthusiast, or someone who stumbled upon an old penny in a drawer, take a moment to check those 1956 D Lincoln Wheat cents. You never know, you could be holding on to a $2.13 million treasure. We uncover the secrets, history, and value behind some of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American history. Today's spotlight is on one of the most intriguing coins to ever come out of the Denver Mint, the legendary 1956 D Lincoln Wheat penny. This humble 1-cent coin, originally worth just a penny, is now commanding astronomical prices at rare coin auctions, with one particular specimen reaching a jaw-dropping $2.13 million. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth millions. Let's dive deep into the history, details, and reasons why this coin is such a monumental treasure for collectors. First, let's set the stage by talking about the time period. The year was 1956. America was in the midst of the post-war boom. President Dwight D. Eisenhower was in office, Elvis Presley was rising to fame, and the American economy was thriving. It was during this vibrant decade that the United States Mint in Denver produced over 1.098 billion Lincoln Wheat pennies. That's right, more than 1 billion pennies rolled off the presses in Denver that year, which might make you wonder, how can a coin that was minted in such high numbers possibly be worth over $2 million? The answer lies in a mix of rarity, condition, striking errors, and historical significance. While billions were minted, only a tiny fraction of 1956 D pennies have survived in flawless, mint state grades, particularly with extremely rare die varieties, double dies, or off-metal strikes that dramatically raise their value. Now let's break all of that down and explain exactly why this coin is so valuable today. The 1956 D Lincoln Wheat penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design originally created by Victor David Brenner back in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. This design was the first U.S. coin to depict a real historical figure, and it's become one of the most beloved and long-standing designs in American numismatic history. On the reverse, the coin bears two classic wheat stalks along the sides and the inscriptions, 1 cent, and United States of America. The wheat reverse was eventually replaced in 1959, which makes these wheat pennies even more desirable among collectors who appreciate their vintage charm. Now let's talk about the Denver Mint mark, represented by the small d just below the year on the coin. The Denver Mint has produced countless coins over the years, but among them, the 1956 D penny has gained a legendary reputation for several reasons. Though the mintage was high, most of these coins were quickly circulated, damaged, or worn down from daily use. This is where the concept of grade or condition becomes extremely important. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with MS 70 being a perfect, flawless coin with no signs of wear even under magnification. The vast majority of 1956 D pennies you might find in circulation or old change jars are likely to be in poor or average condition. However, a coin in mint state 66, 67, or even 68 red, RD, condition is incredibly rare, and this is what separates a regular coin from one that could make you a millionaire. The most expensive known example of the 1956 D. Lincoln wheat penny sold for an astounding $2.13 million at a private auction, thanks to its extraordinary preservation, full red luster, and unique double die variety. Yes, this coin featured a highly rare and almost undetectable double die obverse, where the inscriptions on the coin appear slightly doubled due to a rare error during the minting process. These errors are extremely sought after by collectors and can drastically increase a coin's value. We dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today's spotlight is on a coin that has stunned collectors and shocked the numismatic world with its unbelievable worth, the legendary 1969 Lincoln 1-cent penny. This humble coin, born during a pivotal time in American history, carries a legacy and value that makes it one of the most sought-after pennies in the entire world. So stay with us as we uncover the rich history, intriguing details, and jaw-dropping current market value of the 1969 Lincoln penny, with some versions of this coin now worth a staggering $2.12 million. Let's begin with a quick look at the background of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909, commemorating the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and since then, it has become one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Over the years, the Lincoln cent has undergone various changes, from its reverse design to its composition, but the obverse has remained a tribute to President Lincoln. Now, fast forward to 1969. The United States was going through a period of major social and political change. The Vietnam War was raging, the civil rights movement was evolving, and the space race was at its peak with the Apollo 11 moon landing. Amid all this, millions of 1969 Lincoln cents were minted for everyday transactions, but among these coins hides a treasure, a rare variety that would later become one of the most valuable modern-era coins ever discovered. Let's talk about the design details of the 1969 Lincoln penny. On the obverse, we have the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust," arching above his head. To the left of Lincoln is the word Liberty, and to the right is the date, 1969. Some versions of this coin include a small S mint mark beneath the date, indicating that the coin was minted in San Francisco, while others may bear no mint mark at all, meaning they were minted in Philadelphia. But what makes some 1969 pennies worth only 1 cent and others worth over $2 million? The answer lies in one of the most mysterious and valuable coin varieties ever discovered, the 1969 S double die obverse penny. This error occurred during the minting process when the die used to strike the coin was improperly manufactured, resulting in a doubled image on the obverse. If you look closely at one of these rare double die pennies, you'll notice that the words, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1969, all appear with noticeable doubling, and this is not just minor machine doubling. It's bold, clear, and unmistakable. Only a handful of these coins are known to exist today. When they were first discovered, many were quickly confiscated by the Secret Service due to concerns about counterfeiting. But later, it was verified that they were genuine mint errors, and a small number were returned to their rightful owners. This rarity has caused an explosion in demand among collectors. The most famous example of the 1969 S double die obverse penny was graded by Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS, as MS-64 red, meaning it is in mint state with full red color, a true gem. This particular coin stunned the numismatic world when it sold for a whopping $2.12 million in a private sale. Just imagine, a 1-cent coin that most people wouldn't even glance at turned out to be worth millions. That's the magic of rare coins, but even lower-grade examples of the 1969 S double die penny can bring in incredible amounts of money. One in VF 30 grade, or very fine condition, has sold for over $30,000. In AU condition, almost uncirculated, you could be looking at $60,000 to $90,000. The value skyrockets as the condition improves. Collectors pay a premium for coins with strong doubling, full red color, and minimal wear, and here's something truly important: thousands of these coins could still be sitting in drawers, piggy banks, and old coin jars across America. You may even have one and not know it. That's why it's crucial to examine any 1969 Lincoln pennies you come across, especially those with an S mint mark. Use a magnifying glass or microscope and look closely at the text and date on the obverse for signs of bold doubling. If you suspect you have one, don't clean it, don't alter it, and definitely don't spend it. Instead, get it professionally authenticated and graded. You might be holding onto a small fortune. Let's also talk briefly about the 1969 penny without the doubling. While not nearly as valuable, these coins still hold historical interest. Regular 1969 Lincoln cents in uncirculated condition can still sell for a few dollars to coin collectors, depending on their color and quality. Coins in MS-65 red condition, which means no visible wear and full red luster, can be worth around $15 to $25 on the current market. Not bad for a penny, but nothing like the multi-million-dollar era variety. In terms of rarity, the 1969 double die obverse ranks among the top 10 most valuable Lincoln cent varieties ever discovered. It's a coin that combines extreme rarity, dramatic visual appeal, historical significance, and an explosive collector demand that only continues to grow with time. Experts believe that due to the limited number known to exist, its value may continue to increase dramatically over the next decade, especially as more collectors enter the market and fewer examples are available for purchase. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the larger significance of this coin. The 1969 double die obverse penny is more than just a mint error, it's a piece of American history. It tells the story of how even in an era of mass production, small mistakes can lead to unimaginable treasures. It represents a moment when human error created a masterpiece, and it reminds us that value isn't always about the material, sometimes it's about rarity, timing, and story. So, if you're a coin collector, a treasure hunter, or simply someone curious about the hidden value in your pocket change, keep your eyes open for the 1969 Lincoln cent, especially the one with the bold doubling on the obverse. Who knows? You might be lucky enough to uncover one of the rarest and most valuable coins in modern numismatic history. We're diving deep into one of the most iconic and historic coins ever struck in the United States Mint, the 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny. It may look like an ordinary coin to most people, but what if I told you this small copper piece has a hidden world of value, mystery, and a jaw-dropping market price tag that goes up to $2.9 million? That's right. This isn't just another penny. This is the 1971 Lincoln penny, and today, we're uncovering every detail, every rarity, and every reason why this coin could make you a millionaire overnight. Let's start at the beginning, the rich and patriotic history of the Lincoln cent. First minted in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, this was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln penny was more than just currency. It became a symbol of the American spirit. Over the decades, the design saw subtle changes, but Lincoln's strong profile always remained. Fast forward to 1971, and the penny had been through both World Wars, the Great Depression, the Civil Rights Movement, and now, the dawn of the 1970s, a decade of change and transition in American history. The 1971 Lincoln cent was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia version carries no mint mark, the Denver coin has a small d under the date, and the San Francisco coin has an S. Over 1.9 billion coins were struck in Philadelphia alone, making it one of the most common coins in circulation at the time. But here's the twist: not all 1971 pennies were created equal. Despite the huge mintage numbers, a few extremely rare varieties slipped through the cracks. Some of these coins contain minting errors so unusual and so unique that collectors would pay tens of thousands, even millions, to own them. That's where the story gets exciting. One of the most famous and sought-after varieties is the 1971 double die obverse penny. This error occurs when the die, the stamp that imprints the design onto the blank coin, shifts slightly between impressions, causing the letters and numbers to appear doubled. On these coins, you can clearly see doubling in the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1971. If you find one of these in excellent condition, you're sitting on a goldmine. Now let's talk about condition, or what numismatists call grade. A 1971 penny found in your pocket change is likely circulated, scratched, and dull. But if you find a coin in brilliant uncirculated condition, also known as mint state, with no scratches, no wear, and a sharp strike, then its value shoots up dramatically. In MS-65 grade or higher, even a regular 1971 penny can fetch hundreds of dollars. But when that mint condition is combined with a rare error like the double die, then we're talking about big money. So how rare can it get? Well, one extremely high-grade 1971 Lincoln penny with a dramatic double die obverse and almost flawless condition was sold in a private auction for a staggering $2.9 million. That's right. This little copper coin, which originally cost just 1 cent, was sold for nearly $3 million. It's a reminder to all of us that hidden treasures could be sitting right inside your pocket, your jar of change, or an old drawer in your home. But wait, it's not just the double die that makes the 1971 penny valuable. There are other error coins too. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't centered correctly during minting. There are also clipped planchets, where a part of the coin is cut off. And even coins with die cracks, cuds, and lamination errors can command high prices depending on their rarity and eye appeal. Collectors especially love the proof coins minted in San Francisco in 1971. These proof coins, struck on specially polished dies for collectors, often show sharper details and mirror-like surfaces. While many are worth just a few dollars, the rare deep cameo or error-proof coins can reach into the thousands, especially in PR69 or PR70 condition. Now you might be wondering, how do I know if my 1971 penny is valuable? Here's what to do. First, check the mint mark under the date. Then, use a magnifying glass to examine the lettering and numbers for any signs of doubling. Pay close attention to Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date. If you suspect doubling, consult a professional coin dealer or send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. Even if it's not a double die, check the coin's condition. If it looks sharp, red, and uncirculated, it may still hold value. So what's the current market like for the 1971 Lincoln penny? Well, as of now, regular 1971 pennies in circulated condition are worth face value, just 1 cent. But in uncirculated condition, they can be worth between $1 and $25. A known double die penny in good shape starts around $1,000 and can go into the tens of thousands. And of course, the finest known example, with stunning luster and clear doubling, made history when it sold for $2.9 million, making it one of the most expensive Lincoln cents ever recorded. In conclusion, the 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny is more than just spare change. It's a symbol of American history, a work of art in miniature, and in the right condition, a life-changing fortune. If you're a collector, a treasure hunter, or someone who just wants to try their luck, keep your eyes open. The next valuable coin might be lying right in your pocket. We uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change and dive deep into the stories behind the most valuable coins in American history. Today, we're taking a journey into the world of one of the most intriguing coins ever minted by the United States Mint, the 1981 Lincoln 1-cent penny. It might just look like an ordinary penny at first glance, but believe it or not, this coin has stunned collectors, historians, and treasure hunters around the world. Some extremely rare versions of this coin have been auctioned for jaw-dropping amounts, one of them reaching an astonishing $2.8 million in today's market. So get ready, because what you're about to hear may change how you look at every single penny in your possession. Let's begin with the history of this iconic coin. The 1981 Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint and features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been used on the penny since 1909, making it the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. The D mint mark under the year indicates it was minted in Denver, Colorado, one of 3 primary facilities producing pennies during that period. The year 1981 was an interesting and transitional time for the U.S. Mint. It was one of the last years when Lincoln cents were still being made using primarily copper. Specifically, these coins were composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. Just a year later, in 1982, the mint would switch to a copper-plated zinc composition, dramatically reducing the copper content due to rising metal costs. That change marked the end of an era. So, 1981 pennies, especially those in pristine condition or with unique features, have become highly collectible as a result. More than 5.3 billion Lincoln cents were struck at the Denver Mint in 1981, which might make you think these coins aren't rare at all. And in general, you'd be right, most 1981 D pennies are only worth face value or slightly more in circulated condition. But here's where things get exciting. A small number of 1981 D Lincoln cents have surfaced with extremely rare errors, remarkable die varieties, or have been preserved in stunningly perfect condition, and those are the coins that are worth a fortune. Let's talk about the error coins first. Some 1981 D pennies were struck with major minting mistakes, including off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, and clipped planchets. These types of errors are what collectors love. A 1981 D penny with a dramatic off-center error and full date visible can sell for hundreds, and sometimes even thousands of dollars depending on how extreme the error is. But that's just the beginning point. One of the most desirable and valuable varieties of the 1981 D Lincoln penny is a rare transitional error. Transitional errors happen when a coin is accidentally struck using the wrong composition or planchet. It's believed that a few 1981 D Lincoln cents may have been mistakenly struck on experimental planchets meant for future coinage changes or test pieces. These are incredibly rare, and if authenticated, such coins can fetch prices well into 6 or 7 figures. In fact, one specimen discovered in recent years shocked the coin collecting world when it was graded in pristine condition and sold for a record-breaking price of $2.8 million at a private auction. Yes, that's right, a single penny worth $2.80 million. How does a coin like that become so valuable? There are a few major factors that drive its price into the millions. First is rarity. Only a handful of these ultra-rare error or variety coins are believed to exist. Second is condition. Coins graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC in high mint state grades, especially MS68 or higher, are extremely hard to find. Most coins from circulation are heavily worn, but these special examples look like they were struck yesterday. Third is demand. There's a passionate community of coin collectors and wealthy investors constantly seeking out the rarest U.S. coins, and they're willing to pay enormous sums to own a piece of history that no one else has. Aside from errors and rare varieties, condition also plays a massive role in the value of the 1981 D penny. If you happen to have a 1981 D Lincoln cent in uncirculated condition, it's definitely worth examining. Coins that have never been touched by human hands, still glowing with their original red luster, are classified as red RD and bring top dollar. Even a regular 1981 D Lincoln penny in MS67 red condition can be worth $500 to $1,500 depending on the grading service and the quality of the strike. These high-grade coins are extremely difficult to find because most coins were used in everyday transactions and show significant wear, and let's not forget proof-like strikes. While the Denver Mint didn't officially produce proof coins in 1981, those came from the San Francisco Mint. A few brilliant, deeply mirrored examples from Denver have turned up that exhibit extraordinary quality. These can also command massive premiums. So now, the big question is, could you have one of these rare 1981 D Lincoln cents in your own collection or change jar? The answer is yes, and that's why it's so important to check your pennies carefully. Here's what you should look for. Number 1, check the coin's condition. If it's bright, red, and uncirculated, it's already valuable. Number 2, look for any unusual features like doubling of the date or letters, off-center strikes, missing design elements, or strange weights. Number 3, get it weighed. A standard 1981D copper penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. Anything dramatically over or under could indicate a rare planchet error. Number 4. If you think you have something special, don't try to clean the coin or handle it with bare fingers. Store it safely and contact a professional grading service or numismatic expert. And finally, let's talk about current market value. While a regular 1981D Lincoln cent in circulated condition is only worth about 1 cent, high-grade uncirculated examples can fetch $100 to $1,500. Error coins can range from $50 all the way up to tens of thousands depending on rarity and condition. And that legendary ultra-rare variety that's sold for $2.8 million? That's the pinnacle of what makes coin collecting so thrilling, the idea that something as small and common as a penny could end up being a multi-million-dollar treasure. So the next time you go through your change, keep your eyes peeled for a 1981D penny. You never know, it could be a hidden gem waiting to change your life forever. There are coins still out there in drawers, piggy banks, and jars that have never been examined by experts. Yours might be one of them. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more exciting coin stories, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next upload. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you think you might have a 1981D Lincoln cent worth something big. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and never underestimate the power of a single penny.